welcome back. Well, today I am joined by the ever so lovely Elsie Addington, who is here on behalf of United. Well, Elsie, thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me, Lisa. I really appreciate it. And today is going to be just a bundle of laughs. Okay, I don't know how to. I hope you're really ready for some excitement here.
Well, you always make it entertaining, even if it's a little on the dry side for information. So I appreciate that.
Well, let me ask you the question of the day, Lisa. Have you ever wondered what it is exactly that the United Mutual Governing Documents Committee actually does? I mean, I know that's a pretty exciting, mysterious kind of title, but what do you think it is we do? Any guesses?
You're governing something, right? You're governing. Well, I think you guys are in charge of kind of overseeing.
That's pretty close. God knows we would like to be governors, but what we actually do at the United Governing Docs Committee is we study, direct, and refine the rules of our community. Rules.
Good job.
Which must always be in conformance with the United Mutual Governing Documents. Got it?
Yeah.
Pretty fascinating stuff, right?
No, you know what? Somebody's got to do it.
Somebody has got to do it, and it takes a certain type of person that really and unfortunately, I have a really great committee, and I have some wonderful advisors that actually do like this stuff, and I do too, actually. I could go through stuff all day long, compare, contrast. We don't have that much time to actually do that, but our staff are actually the ones who do things. Like if we ask them, please, could you make sure that this conforms? And they're fabulous, you know, Francis and her gang and Blasilda. But anyway, and of course the ever lovely Pamela Bashline and her crew. Those are the people that we deal with mostly, are like the compliance and the community service people.
Okay.
But and they're all really great people. But unfortunately, these documents are often mentioned. We're always talking about governing docs, but very few people, unfortunately, actually read them. Mm-hmm. And we hear it a lot, and I don't know if you get it from your part of the village, but we get, well, I didn't know there was that rule. It's like, where is that rule? We've got to tell people where that rule is. Why don't we know about this rule? Well, because we hide them, okay? We hide those documents, and we hide them on the village website under United Documents. Pretty good hiding place, right? They're right out there in the open. Anybody who wants to can go and read them. And if there's any like helpful things you want to tell us about how you'd like to be able to access them better on the website is a living document. Well, not a document exactly, but it's a living thing that always can be improved for sure. But in this case, you go right to United, or you go right to documents on the website, right to United, and then scroll down and you go past all the amendments and all the meetings for all the minutes, and down it says governing documents. Yeah. So anybody who wants to read them can. And we thought that was a clever place to hide them, was right out in plain sight.
Well, it's kind of like a manual, you know, nobody reads the manual either.
Oh, and especially people of a certain gender really hate reading directions. I won't go any further than that. So you want to know what those governing documents are?
Yes, please tell us.
Aw, you're so nice to act interested. They are, the United Articles of Incorporation, the United Bylaws,
yep,
and the United Occupancy Agreement.
Mm-hmm.
And equally important, now those are all on the website. We have some of these that I'm going to mention next are on the website. Some of them are not because of this, well, you'll see why in a minute. But even though those are our main governing documents, the Articles of Incorporation, the bylaws, and the occupancy agreement, which hopefully are all in agreement one with the other. And there's a little hierarchy in there, but that's what we work on the committee. Equally important are the operating rules, and the operating rules are like more like, you know, you have to behave, make your dog behave, You can't clutter up your common area. That's more like the rules, the day-to-day rules.
Right.
But they're huge, the operating rules. And also the California Constitution, we always have to take that into account. Of course, we could use an attorney's help on that usually. The Davis-Sterling Common Interest Development Act, and the United Election Rules. Those are all separately stated governing documents, but obviously we don't have the whole California Constitution and the whole California Davis-Sterling Common Interest. We don't have all that online, I don't believe. But those are all very important, so we have to consider those rules.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we have rules for everything, and it seems like it some days, but every city has ordinances and laws. You don't even think about them. Wherever you live, outside or inside, nobody thinks about questioning a speed limit,
Mm-hmm.
or what side of the street do we drive on, or do we have to put a quarter into the parking meter to park here? I mean, every place. And what happens if you don't? You get a ticket, right? Every place has rules and regulations. It's just here we're in a tiny little community, and it seems like a lot of rules, but we don't have any more rules than anybody else does. But you have to have rules, and we live in a country of laws. So just imagine if we didn't have any rules, whether here or elsewhere. These are our goals for 2021. Make the documentation, including our operating rules, supportable and easy to use. Check. Create simplified one-page explanations of applicable rules to go into resale packages, leasing packages, etc., such as the recent resolution on subleasing. Check. Review the financial qualifications for residents. Check. Streamline the resale application process. Check. Review active resolutions and ensure they're accessible from the website. Check. Ensure deleted or otherwise inoperable resolutions are deleted from the active files and archived appropriately, and review current SOPs for directors and revise as needed. Fun, huh?
Mm-hmm.
But listen, before you get too comfortable, I have some really important news. This is very important, and this is in the news category.
Okay.
As most people know, because it has received a lot of coverage from board meetings to committee meetings to this day, e-blasts, etc., the Manor Alterations Department was hit very hard this last year, both by the pandemic and the malware incident, compounded by staff shortages and the added stress of the resultant backlogs. The like-for-like test program I talked about on this program a few weeks ago is a result of staff and United Board's acknowledgement of the situation. Now another temporary policy is being put in place so that the department can continue its efforts to get back up to speed through hiring, training, and IT revamping under Manor Alterations Director Robbie Doncost's sturdy leadership.
Okay.
So are you ready, Lisa? Because this is important. There will be a 6-month moratorium on variance applications effective April 9th, 2021. This is very time sensitive, okay? There will be a 6-month moratorium on variance applications effective April 9th, 2021.
Mm-hmm.
A variance usually has to do with structural alterations that actually change the shape of the manor, such as building out patios and removing walls. They are changes beyond the standard plans, the new like-for-like program, or something that could be approved over the counter, which will continue. This isn't everything. This is just the variance. The reason for the moratorium is to give Manor Alterations a break in order for them to reduce the department's backlog of calls, emails, and other works in progress. Due to the pandemic and the malware attack, they have accumulated a severe backlog, and therefore it is United Mutual's contribution to help Manor Alterations reduce the backlog. We apologize in advance for the inconvenience this may cause to some of our residents. To repeat what I already said, people can still do some updates during this time using the new permitless alteration like-for-like replacement plan that became effective March 9th, or standard over-the-counter plans already available. Both the moratorium and the permitless alterations are in place for 6 months. It is expected at the end of the 6 months, the variance moratorium can be lifted since Manor Alterations will have reduced their backlog. The permitless like-for-like alterations will be reviewed after 4 months to make a decision to extend past the total 6 months of this program. Thank you for being so patient, Lisa.
Well, that's a good thing that they're able to do that. So that's awesome. Now, there's a meeting that will be coming up here April 15th. Will that all be discussed?
We will be progressing on our those goals that I read out to you. So
Okay.
more
And
ahead.
that's going to be Thursday, April 15th at 1:30 in the afternoon. And
Yes.
folks can follow along probably through Granicus.
They can, but as long as it's posted up there, they usually can get on. They can get onto Zoom as well. And you go to calendar. You go to the calendars. You find the meeting you want and click on that, and then hopefully that'll lead you to the Zoom connection. Otherwise, yes, Granicus is also available.
Okay. All right. Perfect, Elsie. Thank you very much for the update.
Well, thank you. And I'm sorry I had so much stuff to cover today, but thank you very much, Lisa.
It's all right. Thank you. And we'll be right back after this.